Good morning. How are you today? Welcome to our new math session. Today's lesson is going to be calculation of simple percentages. So I need you to focus with me in that. So let's start by a recall question. So the recall question here is what's the percentage of the shaded part of whole? So I'm just counting the number of squares here shaded. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 6 over the total number of squares, shaded and not shaded. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's 6 over 10, which means that I need to calculate the percentage. So I need to make the denominator 100. So I will just add a 0 down and up. So it's going to be 60 over 100. And I'm taking the numerator only, which is 60 here. I'm putting it here, 60, and add the sign percent. So the answer is 60%. Okay, let's have our lesson, percentage calculation. So first, I need to answer all of the following questions. So I will just answer the first question for you here, and after that I need you to pause the video for 5 minutes and calculate the rest of the questions alone. Okay? So first of all, I have 10% of 100. So I'm just writing down the 10% as a fraction. So it's going to be equals to 10 over 100. And of, it means times 100. So what are you going to do? I'm just dividing this number by the denominator, and the answer I'm multiplying by the numerator as we learned in previous videos. So it's going to be 100 divided by 100, which equals to 1, and this one I will multiply it by 10, which the answer is going to be equals to 10. Okay, so it's very easy to do. It's just I'm dividing this number 100 divided by the denominator, it's 100. So 100 divided by 100 means 1, and this one I will multiply it by the numerator, which is 10. So it's going to be 1 times 10, which equals to 10. So right now I believe that you understand it because we had it in a previous video, and I need you to pause this video for just 5 minutes and then come back to me to solve the classwork together. Okay, so right now I have 10% of 300, so I'm just writing it down, 10 over 100. Because this is 10%, I would just remove the percentage sign and just put it over 100. And of it means times, which equals to times 300. So I'm doing the same thing. I'm just dividing 300 by the denominator, which is 100. So 300 divided by 100, which equals to 3. And this 3 are multiplied by the numerator, which is 10. So it's going to be 3 times 10, which equals to, yes, 30. Okay, so another question. 30% of 300. It's very easy. I'm just doing the same thing every question. So 30% it means what? 30 over 100. And of it means times, and the 300 I will write it down as it is. So it's going to be 30 over 100 times 300. And after that, what I'm going to do? I'm just dividing this number by the denominator, which is 100. So 300 divided by 100, which equals to 3. Yes. And this 3 I'll multiply by the numerator, which is 30. So 3 times 30 equals 3 times 3 equals 9, and 0 travel to the answer, which means it's 90. Okay, 40% of 300. So 40 over 100, it's going to be the same thing. 40 over 100 times 300. So 300 divided by 100, it's going to be equal to 3. And this 3 I will multiply by the numerator, which is 40. So 3 times 40 equals to 3 times 4 equals 12, and add a 0, so it's going to be equal to 120. Okay, next question. 25% of 30, so it's going to be 25 over 100. The same thing every time, by the way. I'm not changing the method. So 25 over 100 times that number here, 30. So I'm doing it here. This question, it's a little bit not complicated, but you had it before. It's gonna be, you understand what I mean right now when I just divide 30 by 100. So when you divide 30 by 100, you're just moving the decimal point 2 steps to the right. So if I moved it from here, it's gonna be 1, 2, so it's going to be equal to 0.3. And this 0.3 I'll multiply it by 25. This is the new thing that I'm talking about. It's not new. You understand how to multiply decimals. It's very easy. So you're just ignoring the decimal point and multiply normally. So 25 times 3 equal to 75. And then add one decimal place from the right. So it's going to be 75, and one step to the left is going to be 7.5. So it's the same idea here in the next question, 70% of 30. So 70%, it means 70 over 100, and multiply by the number here, it's 30, and then divide 30 by 100, it's going to be equals to 0.3, and this 0.3 I'll multiply it by 70. So 0.3 times 70, so I will just ignore the decimal point and multiply normally 70 times 3, which equals to 210, and add one decimal place from the left, so it's going to be 210, so it's going to be 21.0, and I just ignored 0.0 because it's meaningless. Okay, so it's very easy, I see. I need you to solve this classwork in 10 minutes, and so you are going to pause this video for 10 minutes and then come back to me to find out the answers. Okay, so here it's 20% of 10. So it's very easy to do because you did the last classwork. It was very easy, and this is gonna be the same thing. So number 1A. Who can just think or just figure it out alone? 20%, it means 20 over 100, and then multiply by 10. So it's 10 divided by 100 is going to be equal to 0.1. And this 0.1 I multiplied by the numerator, which is 20. So 0.1 times 20, just ignore the decimal point and multiply normally. 1 times 20 equals to 20. And if you put the decimal point again, it's going to be 2.0. So the answer is 2. Okay, number 1B. So 90% of 60, so it's going to be 90 over 100 multiply by 60. So I would just divide the 60 by the denominator, which is 100. So equals 60 divided by 100, it's going to be equal to 0.6. And this 0.6 I will multiply by 90. So 0.6 times 90, just ignore the decimal point and multiply normally. The answer is going to be equals to 54. Okay. Number 2A, 80% of 100. Guys, I want to tell you something. When you have something like that, 80% of 100, when you have this number equal to that number, 100, and this is 100, the answer is always the numerator. So the answer at the end is going to be 80. But let's figure it out together by our normal way. I will just divide 100 by 100. The answer is going to be equals to 1. And this one I multiplied by 80. So the final answer is going to be 80. You see? So when you have 80% of 100, it's going to be 80. When you have 90% of 100, it's going to be 90. When you have 70% of 100, so it's going to be 70. So I'm just telling you a secret or just a trick to solve the percentage. Okay, 2B. 30% of 40, so it's going to be 30 over 100 times 40. And then take this number divided by the denominator, which is going to be 40 divided 100, and it's going to be 0.4. And take this 0.4 multiplied by 30, so it's going to be 12. 120, and just move a decimal point to the left, so it's going to be 12.0, and I just removed the point and 0, so the answer is 12. Question number 3. 50% of 60. And this is another trick. 50% of 60, it means half of 60. It's going to be 30 at the end. But can we do it in our normal way? Yeah, it's going to be easy. So 50% of 60, it's going to be 50 over 100 times 60. And taking the 60 divided by 100, which equals to 0.6. And take this 0.6 multiplied by 50, the answer is going to be 30. So 50% of 60 is equal to 30. Or you can think it mentally. 50% of 60, it means half of 60, which equals to 30. Okay? So there are questions that you don't need to follow all of these steps. You can just make it mentally, just like that. Okay, let's go to the next question. 90% of 30. So 90%, it means 90 over 100, and multiplied by this number, it's going to be 30. And taking this number again to divide it by 100, it's going to be 0.30. and 0.30 it means 0.3, and multiplied by the numerator it's going to be 0.3 times 90, which equals to 27. Question number 4, 90% of 90, so it's 90 over 100 times 90. So 90 divided by 100 it's going to be 0.9, and 0.9 multiplied by the numerator, which is 90, so 0.9 times 90 it's going to be equals to 81. Okay, for B, 100% of 90. Guys, 100% of any number is going to be equal to the same number. Like, for example, 100% of 90, it's going to be equal to 90 without thinking. 100% of any number is going to be the same number. So 100% of 1000, it's going to be 1000. 100% of 200 is going to be 200. 100% of 3 is going to be 3. 100% of 70 is going to be 70. 100% of 90 it's going to be 90. But let's figure it out together to make sure of our answer. So 100% is going to be 100 over 100 times 90. So 90 divided by 100, it's going to be 0.9, and then multiplied by the numerator, which is 100. So I'm just moving the decimal point 2 steps to the right, so it's going to be 90. So it's going to be the same. Because here I divided by 100, so I moved the decimal point 2 steps to the left. And after that, I multiplied by 100, so I moved the decimal point 2 steps to the right. So 2 steps to the left, and after that, 2 steps to the right. Right now, I'm standing in the same place. So it's 90. Okay? Okay, let's go to question number 5 and the last question, 5a, 40% of 40. So 40%, it means 40 over 100 times 40. And I will just do my steps. 40 divided by 100, it's going to be 0.4. And take this 0.4 times 40, so it's going to be equal to 16. Guys, I want to remind you of something. You have to ignore the decimal point and multiply normally and get back the decimal point. But here in these questions that I put here, it's gonna be 0.0, so it's doesn't mean anything to put it. So I just remove it. So don't worry about it at all. Just multiply decimal normally, and figure out the answer normally. Okay, so question number 5b, it's 10% of 3. So 10% it means 10 over 100 and times 30. So 30 divided by 100, it's going to be equal to 0.3, and takes this 0.3 multiplied by 10, which is going to be equal to 3. So this is our classwork. So your homework is going to be sheet uploaded on Google Classroom. So thank you very much for listening. Hope that you understand everything here, and have a nice day.